everyone. Welcome back to our MSP101 series where we bring you all sorts of questions regarding MSPs. And today we have Alex Lam. And Alex Lam is the Chief Strategy Officer of SRKK, which is a digital transformation consultancy. Alex, how are you doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Wow, thanks for being here with us. So Alex, we've been doing a series of episodes answering questions about MSPs, reaching out to organizations that are curious about what MSP is about. But I think we've covered enough to say that, hey, I'm ready to engage an MSP. But being ready is not enough, right? How do we actually engage an MSP?
I think it's very important, whenever you're assessing a vendor, to make sure that there is chemistry between your company and your provider.
Okay.
It's going to be like something that they walk through with you on this journey for quite a while. So you better like the people who are on this journey with you. Yeah, I think it's also important to find out whether they are fully qualified to support you, what kind of engineers they have on board with them, do they have a larger team, and are they more proactive at servicing you as a company?
Okay.
Or are they more a reactive type? You have to call them and say, hey, I've got a problem, then only they come over. So those are more of what we call break-fix companies,
okay,
as opposed to proactive managed service providers, where they should be behind their desk, monitoring and knowing what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay. Those are good pointers to look out for into engaging an MSP, right? But are there any deeper questions I should ask in knowing if you're the right fit for my organization? Yeah.
I think one of the things that you should ask, right, is how long have you actually been operating?
All right.
I'm sorry if you're like a new MSP.
Okay.
You just have to prove yourself,
Yeah.
because over time, experience also tells.
Yeah.
So perhaps, you need to ask them for testimonials of some of their clients.
Okay.
You could look at reviews. I think these days, reviews are very important. Or even ask the MSP whether you could speak to some of their other clients, just to have a feel of how they are providing support.
Okay.
I think back to what I mentioned just now about being proactive. To me, that is very important. In this day and age, you don't want to only go and look for a computer store whenever there's something that's wrong. Because, in terms of IT, it's a very vast system. Everything from endpoints to servers to cybersecurity,
Right.
backups. You need to have someone on top of things and to be ahead of you. So if there's anything that's wrong,
Okay.
they should be able to tell you ahead of time, rather than, you telling them, hey,
Alright.
I've got this problem.
Yeah, being proactive is important, right?
Yeah.
Are there any specific traits that that an organization should look out for when they are hiring an MSP?
Yeah. I think a few things that you probably need to make sure you are covered. Besides, the price, and don't just look at price, go for the cheapest one, right? Look at companies that are pretty serious about delivering services.
Okay.
You could ask them whether they've got a proper ticketing system, so at least you know that they prioritize, the tickets or support requests in queues. Are they a remote first organization?
Okay.
And I think to me that's very important.
Okay.
Because if they are not remote first of all, the cost could be more expensive.
Right.
Because every time when you call or you send a support ticket, they send someone out to you.
Yeah.
First of all, it's slow.
Yeah.
And then after that, it could be a bit more costly.
Right.
Another thing that you should ask them is what kind of contracts do they have?
Okay.
Do they lock you in for a long period of time? Normally, if they lock you in for like a 3-year contract, then you can negotiate on rates as well.
Okay.
Do they have a trial period for you to use? Yeah. And I think I just want to go back to that proactive part of things and tell you a story.
Yeah.
So there was this MSP that we worked with, and I think the best pat on the back that they ever got was in the morning, their systems went off. Alert said the network of this particular company was down. So of course they have all the credentials and all of the logins for them. They checked, and sure enough, it was down.
Right.
So they got on the phone, they called their ISP ahead of time and said, hey, this company's internet is down and it's currently 7:30 in the morning. People are going to start coming in by 8 something. Can you check on it?
Right.
And sure enough, they had to just reset the port or something like that. So by the time all the employees came in, everything was up and running as per normal. So
Okay.
there was no interruption. And to the company, they didn't even know that it was down.
Right.
So only in the reports later on, they featured to say that, hey, you know, we were able to detect this was down. Before you guys even knew it, it was already up and running.
Right.
Yeah. So being proactive is really important, and making sure that they have your back at all times.
Okay.
So if you are going to look for a company, I suppose a trait would be to see whether they can really cover you for all of your bases.
Okay.
I think computer endpoints is always a given. Do you have servers that you have
Okay.
on your premises that you need to be taken care of? Do you have backup devices? Do you have networks?
Yep.
Do you have cybersecurity? And I think, you know, as someone who's assessing an MSP, be absolutely transparent.
Okay.
You have to tell them what you have in-house, what problems you have, what kind of IT staff you have on board,
Yeah.
that you can align with the MSP. Because you may have already maybe an IT exec, but he may not have full knowledge of the whole spectrum.
Right.
So work together with your MSP to make sure that, you know, everyone is fully optimized.
Okay.
The worst case is,
Yeah.
there are some people who appoint the HR director, for instance, because he has got some experience
Yep.
with managing computers before.
Yeah.
So sometimes we see in companies, the HR director is under the table plugging in, you know, Cat6 cables
Right.
and seeing why it's a problem.
Right.
And you don't want that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want
yeah.
people to really focus on their job and do what they do best.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks for sharing, Alex. Now, as the saying goes, not all heroes wear capes. So I hope you'll be able to look out for the right MSP for your organization. Now, if you like the content that we are bringing in, remember to follow and subscribe to us so that we can bring in more for you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.